Hi, Ollie Berquez here. Welcome to today's podcast, which I'm really excited about. I'm with Curtis Knapton, who's co-owner of Lakeview Property Group and Lakeview Design and Build. Curtis is a very interesting guy, got lots going on, and really happy to join me today. Curtis, thanks for coming on, mate.
Appreciate the effort to bring me here.
Thank you so much. So anything you want to add about yourself? Because you've got lots going on, man. I think we're going to maybe struggle to fit the time in.
Yeah, okay, so you've said Lakeview Property Group, so I'll let you explain a little bit about that. So Lakeview Property Group is a property asset holding company, so specialising in HMOs, particularly high-end, en-suited, that sort of model. And Lakeview Design and Build is predominantly a construction company, but it's also a trading company, so we'll use it for flips, land investment, things like that. And that's kind of what I do, really. Using investor finance, so I bring investors in, normal everyday blogs, yourself, anyone that's got money in the bank that's losing money by having it in there because inflation erodes it, blah blah blah, and we just put that money into an asset that appreciates better and give you much better return. So
yeah, it's great. You've been in it a while, haven't you?
I've been in the property game 16 years now.
Yeah, so you've got some experience.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And also, because obviously the Ice Warrior stuff, I know we will talk about it, but
yep.
You could just give a little bit of context, because I think this is huge...
I'm very humbled that I'm part of something that is huge. It affects us all. So basically, I am an artic explorer in training, have been for about 4 or 5 years now, with a company called Ice Warrior, and they train ordinary people like you, me, to be extraordinary human beings. I'll get into later, but a big expedition we're training for at the moment is to the Pole of Inaccessibility, classed as the middle of the Arctic Ocean. Mankind has yet to reach that, but on the route of us traversing the Arctic, we take scientific samples and basically, long story cut short, trying to find out why the sea ice is depleting so fast, which is crucial for our the species us. I'm going up there to try and save the species us. It sounds a bit corny. Without the poles, we're going to warm up and we could perish, which is obviously really bad. So I want to stop that. So I'm part of this huge organisation that gets to help save the species.
Yeah, well, we obviously briefly chatted about it last week, and I think I said to you when we just chatted off air briefly, was like really sort of inspires me, motivates me. I've got a young family.
Yeah.
So the topic is very relevant in my mind.
Future generations.
Yeah. So I tip my hat, mate, what you're doing, and definitely going to cover some of that in this podcast. So yeah, that's great. What was the first job you did after college, uni? I suppose that's the
construction. For going through school, I come from a long line of chippies, but being the maverick type, go against the grain, I became a bricklayer because that's just what I am. So I went straight to construction, being a hod carrier, started to learn how to lay bricks, then started to learn how to build houses, extensions, so on and so forth, picked up a few other trades along the way, and became a general house builder. Pretty much done all the jobs other than the plumbing and electrics and plastering, and anything that I couldn't really do or didn't want to do. I had friends around me that was able to do that. So within this tight-knit group of friends, we were able to take on every task.
Do you think that the fact is, it's almost like a youth, I think football for me, like YTS, that youth, the learning, the going through that year, 2, 3 years, whatever it is, understand the whole side of it, but not just the beauty of the job, but getting your hands dirty, it sort of shapes you, helps you to get to
massively.
Where you point you are now.
I feel you have to kind of come up through the ranks. I struggle with almost imposter syndrome regarding, say, leadership. I feel like I have to have done whoever I'm leading their role first before I can lead them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like I don't feel like you can just sort of buy your way in, or I know you can go on college courses and things like that, but I think you need the experience first before you can actively lead someone, because you need to encourage them, you need to inspire them to do their job, and I feel you can only do that if you've done it. So yeah, I strongly agree, go through the ranks, start at the bottom, work your way up.
Yeah, and then starting from school, how soon did you then set up Lakeview, or was it? And the other question is, was it always an ambition to have set up your own property business, or did that come later?
So construction business first. After 2.5 years of working for somebody, I went out on my own. So construction company.
So you were still in your teens then?
Yeah.
Man, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Still doing like subby stuff for other people, but predominantly doing my own stuff. That was always a dream, doing my own stuff, and working for other people was kind of like the bread and butter, if you like. So I'd done that for a long time, all through my teens, early 20s. Became a bit of a part-time fireman, and then in about 4 years ago, started Lakeview Property Group. 3 years ago, Lakeview Property Group, and then here I am.
Rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. But then, you know, say in 16 years, so it's 12, 13 years of that graft and learning and shapes. I mean, I suppose no qualifications, no business education and things can give you 12 years of experience and a platform to go and then set your own, you know, start your own business.
Yeah, I mean, who was it? Was it Mark Twain that said, "Don't let school get in the way of a good education"? And I truly believe that. You know, school gives you the basic skills, but it's what you learn out of school is where the real learning starts. For me, anyway, that was the big.
Yeah, but I see loads of entrepreneurs or business owners or successful people that, you know, school hasn't shaped that. They've learned or they've had a passion for something, and that's led to the.
Yeah, they're obsessed. Yeah, a good obsession. I think the word obsession has got a negative feel around it. I think obsession is great if it's a good obsession. You know, harness that. I love that.
Yeah, no, great. Like, you know, we've met a couple of times, and that's one thing that really so fascinating or interesting about yourself is that your drive, your focus, your passion, the way you do things. Really, sort of, it's interesting to see. You know,
I'm all in on most things.
Yeah,
like a dog chasing the ball. Just.
Yeah, but I think you've got to be. You know, you've got to have passion in what you do. You've got to have passion, and you've got to be inspired, or if you're in a service-based industry, you've got to motivate around, you've got to inspire your clients, whatever it may be. So seeing that in you, I mean, let's say a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, no, you got it going on.
Thanks.
So it's
appreciate
good,
that.
Really good to see. What's been your biggest business success to date? Obviously, starting your own business 3 years ago is a huge success. Is there anything more specific that stands out?
Yeah, I'd say a bit more recent, to be honest. We've got a HMO in Felixstowe, our first HMO, and previous to that, let's talk a bit about education. I've been on but I've done a lot of webinars, been on a lot of courses, seminars, read a lot of books, had mentors, coaches, things like that in the property world to get properly educated to a point where I can start. I'm a big fan of getting educated and then starting and sort of figuring out the rest along the way, and that's kind of what I did with Lakeview, and we learnt the HMO model. We learnt from experts that were doing it, and how you can take a little bit of money, someone else's money, put it into a house with another product, buy the house and refurb it and things like that, and then you get all the money back out. So effectively it's a free house once you've done it all in the right orders in the correct way. And it's only when I'd truly done that I believed it. I kind of believed it. I'm paying money for courses and learning, and you know, okay, this is going to happen. But until you actually put someone else's money into a house, do what you need to do with it, and take all that money back out, and you're left with an appreciating asset, cash flowing positive asset for free afterwards. It's when it truly happened. For me, that happened on our HMO. So bought this house. I converted it within 36 days from start to finish, put all the en-suites in, done all the work. Bit egotistical, done most of it myself, to be honest. I was in the middle of writing a book at the time on how to construct HMOs, and I wanted to do it myself. So when I bring on other subbies in the future, and if they try and fob me off saying it's going to take 6 months, I go, look mate, I've done it in 36 days, here's the book. So that's kind of where I was going with that. But basically, we bought this house, we refurbed it, we filled it with tenants, and then a few months later, refinanced it. Not going to try and bore you, but basically we bought it for 232, spent 70 on it, got it revalued at 400 on a 75 loan to value mortgage, pulled out all the money that we put in, paid back the investors, put the rest into the next house, and we got a free house. That's my greatest achievement. We've got a free house.
Yeah, but that's amazing. I mean, how did that make you feel? You've
Awesome.
got such a buzz from that.
Awesome.
Because it's just, it doesn't matter whatever you're doing.
That house is always going to be with me now.
But it's not, it goes beyond the money, and this is, you know, people talk about money being a driver, and money's important, of course, you know, because I think it can help your lifestyle, and it can help you to do things, but if it's just your only motivator, it's not...
You ain't going to go very far, no.
No, it can't be. And to me, forget probably the money, the buzz you probably got from just seeing that project.
It worked.
Giving the money back to the investors, seeing
They
it go
trust.
through from start to finish. Oh yeah, and the trust element.
They
I mean,
tr-
when you give them a call now and say, look, I've got this, they're going to go, yes, please, straight away, in we go.
Well, at first they were just going to put the money in for 12 months and then take it all back out plus their interest, and you know, they live their merry lives. But now they've left the money in, the seed money. They took the interest out and left the money because they know it works.
Yeah, fantastic.
And you know, you look after someone else's money way better than you do your own money, and I do anyway. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really take it to heart.
Well
when
done,
someone
mate.
gives me
That's
that.
amazing. What good and early days in the business as well.
Yeah.
Within 3 years to have something so successful work. It must give you the confidence as well to the springboard to go and do more things.
To the
now.
next thing, next thing and the next thing. It's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Once you've figured out in your own head from a mental point of view, this works.
So did you so the process to get there?
Yep.
This interests me about systems. You know, we have a system here, for example. You know, in terms of a process for clients, and so the systems really interest me. Do you have a system now, or is it going to be adaptable, and is it the system that you said you've read books, you've mentors, you've learned over the period of time?
There's a system to the way we source properties and buy them, but we're always adapting. It's
Yeah.
like a plane. A plane, gets from one point to another, but along the route it's constantly adapting. I've got big goals, big monster goals in the future, and I'll get there, but I'll maybe meander a little bit to get there.
Yeah.
Tweaking as we go, but generally as a rule, buying, selling, and the way we refurb things, definitely a system in it. The way I refurb a house is quite chaotic, but military style precision.
Yeah.
I have a lot of trades in at once where a lot of people don't. They have like one trade in for their job, next one comes
And
home
why
and
is
so
that,
forth.
Curtis? Is that to get it through quick?
Get it through quicker, get it done. I love setting challenges. Like if I say it's going to take me 40 days, I want to do it in 35 days.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always setting myself little challenges, and I can only do that by having these systems in place.
And I think as well, going back to the success of the project you just spoke about as an example of investors. You know, invest in it, goes right X amount of money, and you go, it's this amount of days to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
You deliver on that and get it back sooner. It's not even forget the success of it. It's even quicker. Like
Exactly.
this man is
Builds rapport, builds trust.
is actually delivering even better than we thought. So, no, I get that. Challenges and almost failures. What's been in business at the moment, and is there any you can share?
Challenges and failures. So I'd say biggest challenge is mental, getting out of my own way. Yeah. You can read all the books and the big rah-rah hype of how you can get rich quicker and that, but you've got to get out your own way first. Like if you've grown up with a poor mentality, like money's scarce and you know you should be grateful. You should be grateful, but like there's no money around. You can only win money by a lottery. Blah blah blah. Money's the root of all evil. All this stuff. Like it's not. It's crap. And if you've got these negative beliefs, like subconsciously, they'll play out externally, and you've got to get rid of them. They're deep rooted, and it's hard. But once you get rid of them and get out your own way, then anything's possible. But that was a really tough challenge for me. Coming from a poor background, it was like there's no money in the world. That's how I was growing up. There's no money, so there's no money. Well, actually, there's money everywhere.
But we are hardwired, aren't we? We're hardwired from childhood. It definitely shapes things.
Yeah.
What have you done to change your mindset then, as you've grown up, to obviously be in a positive place you are now?
You just said it. Being positive, and actually hanging around with people that have done what I want to do, what I want to achieve. Staying on the subject of money, so hanging around with millionaires, they have a completely different mindset around money to someone that doesn't own millions of pounds. They're still normal people. They're not on like some pedestal. They're normal people, but the way they think about money, they don't think of it as scarce. They think of it as abundant. And once you get into that abundance, it's everywhere. It comes to you. It flows through you. It is like a river. It flows through you. You gotta spend it, and as it comes, you got to spend it and things like that. So you got to keep it flowing. But once you get rid of that scarcity mindset, for me in business, that was a game changer.
Yeah, and so this is interesting because you say you're sort of humble beginnings almost.
Yeah.
And being around millionaires, seeing how say they're operating. Do you think that's holding you in better stead because you have, say, some cautiousness around you of humble beginnings where you're not going to be frivolous, as it were. You're going to be cautious because maybe it's how you were brought up. But you've now been around the successful people, which you're seeing the ambition of how they're doing it. Is that a good blend for you?
It's good, but if you've got that mentality where you're quite poor mentality, when you get money, all of a sudden you want to revert back to that poorness and you want to spend it really quickly. So again, you need to kind of channel that as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of struggles. There's problems with not having money. There's problems with having money, and obviously, I'd rather have one over the other. But
yeah,
there's problems either way.
Yeah. So I was find fascinating business owners' daily habits, morning routine, evening routine. Could you share some of your top daily habits going on to then your morning routine and evening routine? How that works for you?
Yeah. So probably I have everyday habits, but you'll see the most strict ones in the morning. Morning. So probably be the best. So a perfect morning for me would be getting up really early. I like to get really early. Meditate about 20 minutes, usually a guided one. I don't know if it's laziness, but I relax easier with a guided one. And then it'll be maybe a little stretch, but then it'll be an exercise. I'll go to some exercise, it'll be a run, it'll be a gym session, it'll be like cycling here today for a couple of hours. I usually spend a couple of hours doing some sort of exercise, but then I'll have a big stretch session. So the first one will be more of a dynamic stretch just to get moving. Then I'll do exercise, then it'll be like a long sort of static yoga session. And that will set me up for my day, to be honest. And then I'll book in my first meeting for about 10, do that, have lunch, have a second meeting in the afternoon, or whatever site visit, whatever I've got to do that day, and then family time.
Yeah. So for you, personal, you're doing personal things. You get up early.
Yeah.
You're doing nothing work related until around 9, 10 o'clock.
I try not to. It's very hard because as soon as you open your eyes, right, I've got to do this, got to do that. But you got to not do that. You got to just get up and just do, for me, the meditating first. It's hard. Like some days I'm not perfect. No one's infallible. Like some days I'll miss it, and then like this morning I usually do 20 minutes. This morning I only done 10 minutes because I know I was had to come here. So yeah, it's just fitting in what you can. Don't try not to beat yourself up too much about it. Like obviously try and be as strict as you can because it helps with consistency. But if there's some days you miss a bit of it, then just try and do what you can.
I get it 100%. It's like say here with the gym, and when we're working with clients, talking about lifestyle transformation, and it's all relevant because you need to be very driven, focused on a goal, but you have to be flexible in your approach. Yeah. And it's the same as what you're saying, because I'm the same as well. Like some days you're just not going to eat well, or some days work's not going to work out well, but it can't take you off your goal. You've just got to be flexible on that day and adapt and go with it. And this is where, say, relating it to maybe fitness in the gym or anything, doesn't really matter. It's where people aren't still focused on the goal. The flexible approach doesn't help, and suddenly the diet ends or lifestyle ends and everything changes. But it doesn't. It's being, let's say, that having that flexibility is really important because life is not perfect.
Adapt and overcome. Life throws loads of stuff at you. You just got to be able to overcome. Because there's nothing. I'm going to get a bit philosophical now, but there's nothing you can control in life other than how you react to things. When you actually dig down into this, there's nothing you can really control other than how you react to things. So if you can try and work on that a bit, then you'll be fine. Yeah,
I agree. Perception, and that and your perception of a situation is basically all you can control. Definitely. Yeah. So in the morning, that time for yourself. Yeah. If it's gone perfect, how are you feeling going into your first meeting at 9, awesome. 10 o'clock?
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
I've had a great start to the day, but then there's a caveat today. If I've had a bad start today for whatever reason, I'll take that through. So I
and do you now?
Purposely, now I'll take it through. I'm very good at getting rid of it sooner than like I have done in the past. In the past, I'd take it through the whole day. Now I'd take it maybe an hour or so. Then I think, actually this isn't helpful. This isn't serving me or anyone around me. Let's sort this out. But I'm getting better for sure.
Yeah,
so I definitely try and focus on getting that good start.
Yeah, really good. And in the evening, family time, get that. It's so important. Yeah. Do you have anything in the evening, your routine, that's quite military?
I stick on a documentary on Netflix. I like a documentary. Then also I like Big Bang Theory. So, but mostly I'd say a documentary of some sort, learning. I don't know if we're going to get into it, but learning is a big key for me.
No, it's actually next thing I wanted to ask you because you speak about mentors, constant ambition to learn and grow.
Massively.
So let's talk about learning. What things do you do what you emphasise important learning being so important. What things you do? Why is it so important to you?
Whatever I can use any time, meaning I can safely do two things at once, I'll do it. So, for instance, driving a car or riding a bike, I'll have a podcast on or an audiobook every time, without fail. That is like any time for me. I can do two things at once. But not only that, I'll have it on 2 times speed as well. I've got to a point where I can get more in. 2 times speed, I get more in. I can understand it clear as day. And when I put it on 1 time speed, it sounds like they're talking really slowly.
That's time productive, that, mate.
And so I can only really listen to it at 2 times speed now, because otherwise it just sounds. I'm like, get there quicker. I need to. So I always got a podcast and an audiobook in. Talked earlier about courses. I'm always on a course. Like this, in fact, September is a busy month. Every weekend I'm away through September on a course. One of them is digital marketing. One of them is subconscious training. Another one is social media. So it sounds a bit broad, like all over the place, but it's not. It's all goally focused on where my business needs to go, and that's where it needs to go right now.
But so social media is an interesting one, because you're talking about the way it is now in the world.
Yeah.
People being online. I mean, people are probably on social media more than they're looking at other stuff. Using the platform. So
yeah. We are a media channel, and you have to act like it. You're the director, you're the editor, you're the producer, you're everything, content creator,
No, I totally agree. And so that'd be interesting then, the stuff coming out of that.
Yeah, massively. Courses, mentors. I'm actually in the neighbourhood for a mentor at the moment. But yeah, I always have a mentor, so a paid mentor that has done something. So for instance, property, I had a mentor that had huge portfolio of HMOs and new builds. Perfect, that's what I wanted to do. Was following him, was doing what he asked me to do, and was part of the mentorship for a long time. And then their goals changed. They're more on property training now, and I'm on the property side, so I need a new mentor for property. But yeah, someone that's done something I want to do to a high level, that's ahead of me, attainable still, but ahead of me, that pulls me up to their level. That's a good mentor for me. And then a coach would be someone that's maybe like yourself, is someone that's like as good at teaching different ways of getting there, perhaps.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Different take on things, because I think coach and mentor, they're different. They're 2 different people, aren't they? So
they are. But to me, I love you saying that. I love that, because it's sort of like, it shows just such ambition, and also that you're comfortable in yourself, and you talk about his journey. You've got some long goals and stuff like that. So you saying that stuff doesn't surprise me. But and I suppose what I mean by that is that people might be scared to have someone better than them around them, or they might like to be in the big fish in a small pond and stuff like that. But then to me, I don't think you're growing and learning. For you putting yourself out there, and you're so focused on that, and you know what you need to get to the next level, and you're getting the people around you to do that. So I think it's really it's fantastic.
I know I have a good understanding of but I'm doing lots of different things all in that direction, and it's kind of seeing what sticks really. I'm able.
Yeah, and I get that, but I think what I mean is, and you're probably talking yourself down a little bit, but you've got mentor who is better than you in your industry where you want to get to.
Yep.
You're constantly learning, innovating in things relevant for the current world we're in.
Yep.
And you invest in time in yourself, in terms of your health and your fitness and your time you're having in the morning. So to me, mate, you're doing great. I think you're on the right path. Those sort of that mindset and the habits and the consistency you're showing in those areas is
blocking
setting
out,
you up to win, mate. Definitely.
What you said earlier about everyday habits, I do block out time for self-education. Personal development is key. So the podcast, the audio books, the courses, the webinars, seminars, I think it's very important that you block out that time. Try and compartmentalise your day, and if there's an hour slot just to self development.
So who are your personal heroes?
Yep.
And why do you hold them in such high regard?
Personal heroes.
You might not have any.
There's loads.
Yeah.
How personal? Someone I've met, someone I know, family.
Mate, someone you met, someone you look up to, you don't know but aspire to. Just tell me, because I think someone like yourself probably has a few that is motivated you.
5?
Yeah, do 5. Love to hear 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone I've not met before who has been a big part of my life, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Started off as a kid, I wanted to blow things up and shoot, just like a movie actor with the muscles, and but he's way more than that. like, what he did to get to before then was, you know, Mr. Universe. It was incredible. You listen to his story. Is it Iron something? Iron Strong?
I haven't heard it.
Oh, okay.
But is it a fascinating story? Yeah.
Yeah, huge story. So what he did to become a bodybuilder, the best in the world, it's phenomenal. He went all in on that. Then he wanted to be an actor. At the time, it was like, you got a long name, you speak funny, we don't want you, but he just kept persisting, got there, became one of the best actors, became political, became governor. So, like, anything he's in, he's just all in, and if he's all in, like, he's going to get it, and I love that.
And so this is really interesting, because I think these type of people, these people who've been that successful,
yeah,
have been told no a lot,
yeah,
haven't they? Like we all have. You've been told no.
Time,
you have to be.
Yeah.
They just have this serious mindset and focus to not be unwavering, not let it affect them.
I love following these people. Another one, it's going to be 16, I suppose, but Sylvester Stallone. You listen to his story. When he started, he wanted to be an actor. He went around 1,500 different acting like academy schools or whatever to take him on. They all said no. Went round again. They all said no. Then he came up with a story for Rocky. Went round them. They all said no. Then one person.
So he showed them. He showed them the story for Rocky, and they all said no.
They all said no again. And then one person said yes. We'll buy it off you, but we'll buy it off you, and you know you go away, sort of thing. He said no, I want to be the star of it. And then they all said no, and he kept going round and round. He just become so poor. He had to sell his dog, and it's a long story. But
so when he sells his dog in Rocky, there's some real. Did he sell his dog?
He sold his dog for $100 because he couldn't feed the dog, couldn't feed himself, and then suddenly someone said yes, we'll do Rocky, we'll pay you 10 grand. The other people were going to pay him 300 if he wasn't in it, but because he wanted to be in it, everyone said no because he looks funny, sounds funny. This one person said, okay, you can be in it, we'll pay you 10 grand, and that's it. And then he's like bringing in his family as like supporting actors and things like that, and you know, Rocky, how it is now. So amazing. He brought his dog back, and anyway, it's a good story. So two people I've not met, hugely inspired by. Another guy currently, David Goggins. Ever heard of him?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Man, the guy's a machine.
Yeah, and, fascinating. The way he talks. I listened to a podcast of his the other day. Actually.
The journey he's been on.
Amazing.
If you haven't listened to his book, Can't Hurt Me, you should definitely listen to it. It's an astounding book. Goes from crap upbringing, Navy SEAL to world-renowned athlete. He's just his mindset is just incredible.
But the pain he talks about, his childhood and growing up, the pain that he talks
running
through,
on broken legs,
to makes him successful. You just think, man, that passion and that drive he's got is just phenomenal.
That's helped me lately. I do a lot of like OCR races and mid race. If I've just not feeling it, whatever, I'll think of a book or a situation he's been in. He talks about. In a car, it's called a regulator that limits the speed, but he talks about it, or governor, sorry. He talks about that in your body. He said most people do it. They get to about 60% of where they can actually go, but they think mentally, I'm done, I'm tired and whatever. And he says you get to that point, if you can just remove that, you've got another 40% there. And that's helped me massively. I think I'm tired, I think I'm beat, I think I'm done. Actually, there's more. Yeah,
it's something. I read a blog actually. It was interesting about Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
And they said their quote is, "Quit tomorrow." So, whatever you're feeling it, just quit tomorrow. Because when tomorrow comes, the pain's finished, whatever they're doing, you don't want to quit. You've forgotten what that pain's like. So, they say, so quit tomorrow. If it's a fascinating one, I sort of, that really resonates with me.
That stuck with me as well. I get, like, regarding habits and things, get really peed off with yourself if you don't do something. So, the thought of not doing something is way more painful than doing it. In my head, so I'll get really peed off if I don't do something I want to do. So I get to a point before I do it that I know I'd feel worse if I don't do it. So that's where I'm at now. I'll do a lot of things now because I know I'd feel worse if I don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Like really kick yourself if you don't do it. So that's I kind of learned that from David as well.
Yeah.
Very fortunate. A couple of months ago, I met him.
No. Yeah. Wow. What's he like to meet?
Just a Spartan lifestyle.
Intense.
Quite intense, but still. Likeable, approachable, nice fella, but
because when you hear him talk, it's so engaging, isn't it? I mean, he just he talks.
But real life is exactly the same.
Yeah,
and it's very fortunate to spend
wow,
some
that
time
was amazing.
Really good.
Others, so you got them three.
So haven't met them two. Met him. So let's talk about Rob Moore.
Yes.
So property world, social media. He's into a lot of things. Helped me personally, and it started with courses. So I didn't know him done a few of his courses and stuff like that. And started to meet him at events and started to meet him a lot more, and like we get on quite well, dinners and things. And
yeah, what's he like? Good guy?
Just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, if nicer in real life, but like he's just as engaging, just as content rich, just as eager to help you in real life as he is like on the cameras, you know.
I've come across him in the last few months.
Yeah.
His podcasts are brilliant.
Awesome, aren't they? Yeah.
Amazing podcast. Like the way he talks, the stuff he's doing again, just comes across like.
David was on one of his as well.
I heard. That's where I heard the podcast.
Okay.
I heard Dave's podcast. I heard David talk on his podcast, and since then listened to David's. But no, I think that's a great person to meet.
Yeah.
Who's like in business, talking great stuff in your business as well. So that's a perfect person for you to meet.
And like I say, a normal bloke in real life as well. And he's got the nice toys around him, but he's very humbled. You know, he knows he's quite fortunate to have done there, but he also knows he worked his arse off to get there, and he's got some real insights on how to get there.
I mean, anyone that thinks that you can be successful without working hard, unless you're spoon-fed maybe, but then not really going to get much from that. But they've gone through some blood, sweat and tears. There's some serious graft and hours and things that haven't gone well for the people of Rob Moore's, the David got all these people you're seeing to get to the point where you're seeing them now successful. And they probably still have struggles.
Yeah, they're happy to share their wins and losses, and you know you can kind of take them almost with a pinch of salt, because what worked for them may work for you, but it was their karma, it was their thing, wasn't it? So you can take bits of it and implement them in your life. Yeah.
So Rob Moore was a good guy to meet. So you've got a couple of others.
Yeah. So we talked about it briefly earlier. Ice Warrior. The guy running it is called Jim McNeil, world famous explorer. He's the guy behind Human Planet, Frozen Planet. I say the guy behind he's the safety guy. So people like Fines, Attenborough, these sort of big names would go to Jim.
Wow.
He would take him out there safely and bring him back safely. So he's always been behind the scenes for all these big
What's he like?
BBC productions and things. Humble.
Yeah.
Humblest guy I've ever met. He's done some incredible things. You go through a list of things he's done, it's incredible over his lifetime. Been in polar regions for 35 years, military, fire brigade for the royal household. But
does he reach this passion about what you're doing? He just must be so passionate and
hugely passionate. What you've done in the past, you'd never know. But what he's into with Ice Warrior, you'd know 100% because he's so passionate. That's all he does. Is Ice Warrior now. He trains people like myself to become Arctic explorers, and he generally cares about Mother Nature, preserving it, and telling the world and educating the world in how we can be better, trying to preserve it. And that's all he does. It's just
and we had a little chat off air, and before we started the podcast, and something really interesting I wanted to bring is going all in on stuff. The fact that people like this, that they have such passion and this drive. So someone like him, just all in, there's no other way, it's just 100%, and there's no other percentage of doing this type of stuff. And even the Goggins, Rob Moores, and the ones you've mentioned before, that's them.
But what I love about Jim the most is he's all in on it, and he's hugely prolific. Like he should be way more, in the stars than he is. But
he's not doing it. That's what I'm about to say. He's not doing it for that.
He's completely humble. Doesn't care about the media. He cares about it to a point that it
needs to give a platform to promote.
It shows our story and things like that. But apart from that, he doesn't care about it. He's been up mountains that no one's ever been before. Just climbed up one, went on the other side. No one would ever know that unless speak to him on a really personal level. You just don't know that. If you look on anything he's ever written, at the top it'd be like ordinary chap, ordinary bloke. And to meet first time, you wouldn't think anything other. It's only when you get to know him, you think, blimey, he's done some incredible things. You must have been so
inspired chatting to him, meeting him.
Massively.
Yeah. So that's a great person to meet. And I think there's one other.
Final one here would be my late mum. Yeah, would be she brung me up, which is obviously a good thing. But yeah, it was just me and her growing up. Had cancer for 13 years, chemo for 13 years, and only had 2 days off work. I don't know anyone that's done that. I mean, incredible. So I guess I get a lot of that drive from her. But the doctors always said, you haven't got long, and that was probably like 10 years before she actually went. She was just like, I'm not really going to listen to you, I'm just going to keep doing my thing and just keep doing it. So kind of defiant. She was quite defiant, so defied the doctors medically and physically, but I think it was a mentality. That mentality of just because someone says something doesn't make it true. And just that drive, I think
But
helps.
you've got that in you, mate. That's
Yeah.
chatting to you the brief times we spoke.
Yeah.
You know, you've got that in you, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it's amazing to.
So there's some of the people in and around my life.
That's amazing, mate. I mean, that's when I've obviously I've only I'm early days in the podcast, and when I've asked the question to people, it's fascinating who the heroes are, but they're amazing. There's some amazing people there.
Yeah, keep me going.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely, mate. Yeah, it's really good. So what advice would you give to someone starting in business or on a business journey? So yeah, it could be your business or just business in general.
Well, it's quite broad. What sort of advice?
Okay, so let's go back to what advice you give to someone starting in your industry?
Yeah,
Who wants to get into the business?
Just do it. Do it now. Do it quicker, and pay for help. It's an investment. It really is. Paying for someone's advice, being part of a mastermind, going to a course, a mentorship, it gets you there so much quicker. And then partnering with people. A lot of people say don't partner with people, blah, 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 but partnering with someone that's got opposing skill sets to you gets things done twice as fast. There's no point partnering with someone that's got the same skill set as you because you're just doing the same thing. You're going to get on each other's toes and it's just not going to work. Someone's got opposing skill sets. You're doing completely opposite things but in the same direction. You're all going for the same goal, obviously. So I'd say for anyone starting out, partner with someone that's either done it before.
And it's similar to you, your business partner, what you're doing.
Complete opposite to me.
Yeah.
He loves analytics. He loves the spreadsheet. He loves the numbers behind it. I don't. I love the physical side, talking to people, being on site with contractors. That's me. He doesn't mind doing that. His skill sets are the other side, the financial side. So let him do it.
Yeah,
perfect.
It's similar to me and my business partner here, 4D. Dan, so focused, driven where we want to take things.
Yeah.
But so different in what we bring to the table, which is great. I'm similar to you actually. Dan's more like your partner and stuff, and Dan's knowledge in the fitness industry is just phenomenal. So his knowledge around program design, creating the systems in the gym and stuff is fantastic. So yeah, I mean, it's funny, when I was offered the building here 3 years ago, opportunity, there was one person in my mind I wanted to partner with.
Cool.
We've been friends for years, so I get that totally. And actually,
it helps. It helps massively, and then you've got someone to keep you accountable. That's what I love about a mentorship, is the accountability. You go monthly or weekly, whatever you do. Usually monthly, but you get that accountanship. From month to month, you've got to see some change. But with a business partner, you can do it daily.
100%, mate. Definitely.
What have you done today? What are we going to do tomorrow? Have you done it? You just keep yourself accountable constantly. Yeah, and that helps.
This might lead into what we've just covered, but what advice would you give to Curtis 10 years ago?
Just get out of your own way. It just honestly, there's no one cares that much. It's not going to be that bad. Things will always work out, and just get started. Ready, fire, aim. Just get started. Foul forward fast. There's loads of sayings. Just get in it. Make some mistakes along the way. You'll figure it out.
So words you live by, quotes.
Yep.
Obviously, ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
Any others? Do you want to elaborate on the ready, fire, aim? Because you said that to me earlier, and I thought it was brilliant.
Ready, fire, aim just basically means get started and tweak later. There's a quote, we go back to Rob Moore. He says, "Start now, get perfect later." Exactly true. Just start now. Just start. Like, when it comes to, we're going to stay on the subject of business. You may have an idea. I may have an idea. You may spend time tweaking it, trying to get it perfect. I'll just put it out there and tweak it as we go. Look at iPhones. They get launched and there's all sorts of bugs fixed in them, and they get fixed along the way. But I'd get the business first. If we go back to that, I'd get the business first. I'd be known for that business. You'd come along, but you wouldn't. So just get to the market first. They're the guys that win.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. With business, so we spoke a lot about fitness and business, and it's the importance it places for you. Crossover? Is there a crossover between the two?
Between
business and fitness, and how it works for you in
massively.
your life?
If I'm physically fat, I've put on a few kilos at the moment, but I can feel that. And if I'm physically feel like I'm mentally fat. And if you feel mentally fat, that's not saying that you are fat and lazy. It just means that you're just feeling slow and groggy and whatever. And for me to get rid of that grogginess and that alertness, or to gain that alertness, is through fitness. Like before a meeting, I'd often do a bike ride, do a run, if I've got 20 minutes, I'd just quickly go do a 20-minute dash around the seat. I live on the seat, around the seawall, and go into that meeting just energised, just ready to go, Yeah,
so this mental preparation, it fascinates me. Obviously, me professional sport, football being my background.
Yep.
Mental preparation was really important to me in the run-up to it, and I noticed with sports people and stuff. Do you find that mental preparation, so if you're going for a 20-bike ride before a meeting, or an example, are you planning that meeting in your head? Are you seeing how you want it to go?
Visualization is key for me. I visualise most things. They're kind of like associated with goals, I suppose. But I visualise. I'm quite scenario-based. I do a lot of training scenario-based. But I visualise what I want to happen, and generally that happens. I don't know if it's a bit woo-woo, a bit whatever, secret, whatever.
No,
but
it's not though. It's not.
I think
you
it's
just
key.
have to look at top people, sports people. Example.
Yeah.
I
think it's key.
Yeah.
I think I've heard a quote, paraphrasing, but basically the idea is the warrior that sees victory before the battle compared to the warrior that goes into battle and hopes for victory. The other guy's already won. Yeah. He's already won it in his head before he goes into it. Yeah. By the other guy that's hoping when he gets into it. So key for me is being mentally prepared for anything. I run a lot of scenarios in my head. I'm quite scenario based. I think Jim, he's quite scenario based, being a safety guy, and he's kind of drilled it into me. And I feel like, he'll paraphrasing from him, but he'll say like walk tall syndrome. I'm quite highly trained in a lot of survival skills and first aid, and I can walk through life with a walk tall syndrome, and I get that from scenario based thinking all the time.
Yeah. So with Ice Warrior, because what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
And as I said to you, but having a young family myself, it's something that's really important to me, because I know it's for our children's future and maybe their children and stuff. So I think it's amazing what you're doing. I'd love to know really a little bit more about maybe the purpose of what you're doing, what's driven you behind it and that, because like what you're doing, mate, sure. I mean, I don't know if you realise it, but if I said it to anyone, I've had Curtis on the podcast and he's an artic explorer, this is what he's doing, I'd be blown away by it.
Yeah, long story cut short, when I first started, it was quite egotistical. From my point of view, it's like, oh, well, I'm doing something really cool for myself. I'm Arctic Explorer, not many people get to do that. And there's an element of that now, but it's really not anything to do with me. There's a saying, another saying, if you can, you must. And that's really grown on me, because I can do something that's really hard. Like, so going to the Arctic is incredibly hard, training for it is incredibly hard, it's incredibly hospitable, but it's all for the betterment of mankind. I'm going there to find out why the sea ice is depleting so fast. Without the sea ice, we're going to get pretty hot. If we get really hot, then we're going to perish. And so it's gone from egotistical to it's not about me at all. It's about the cause. And that actually was a huge mindset shift when it came to raising sponsorship, because when I first started, I felt bad. I struggled to ask someone for money because I'm doing something I enjoy. I believe sponsorship should be something that's way outside your reach, and you've not done it before, and I'm doing something I enjoy. How can I ask people for sponsorship? But now it's not about me. The money flows through me to Ice Warrior, but it's about Ice Warrior, it's about the cause. So having that mindset shift was key.
Yeah, it's great. And I think with the, so when are you going to be on the expedition? When is it? When are you going to be ready to go?
So the planned expedition is next February, 2020, end of February, coldest time. It gives us the best possible chance. We've got an 80-day window to do 800 miles, split into 4 legs. At the moment, I'm doing one of those legs. If I can raise more sponsorship, I'll do more. Each leg has its own tasks. First leg, go through the boulder fields. I don't know if you've seen on TV, but the sea meets the ice. It's great big boulders like size of this room. You've got to try and get over. They go through that. They get airlifted out. Next lot get airlifted in. By the way, Jim's doing a whole lot of this, so he's doing it all. But the next team come in. They go through the magnetic North Pole, which, as you know, has been through since 2002. So that's always moving as well, elliptical and in a direction. So when we go through that, reposition that. Team 3 have just got to try and sprint as fast as they can, and Team 4 is made up of sprinters and swimmers. So
your team, you're going in Team 1. Obviously, you said you're going in your first team.
I don't know what team I'm going to be in. I want to be in Team 1 because it's the hardest.
Yeah.
Mentally, that's kind of my thing.
And Team 4, sprinting and swimmers, you said.
Well, it's thawing out by then. Even though we got the coldest time, by that point, 80 days later, it's going to be thawing out. So there could be some big leads, which is open parts of water. So it could be swimmers. So, so basically, that's the journey. But a whole long route along the routes, we are taking scientific data. Trust me, I'm no scientist. I'm really not. But I work alongside the world's best scientists, people at NASA, NSIDC, the Met Office, all these top scientists around climate change. I don't personally give them, but we give them the raw data, and they work the magic.
You'll capture the data and you'll provide it, and then from there, that's where action's going to have to be taken at government level. And
that's where the magic happens. They're the guys that work out a game plan as to what we can do.
How amazing if you're to be a partner.
Part of that, yeah.
So, is there anything you want to sort of say about that? Because I'll give context at the end and sort of summarise where people find you. But because it's such a big deal, I know I want to chat to you about a couple of ideas I want to throw you, because if I can help you, I will.
Okay, cool.
Definitely
Appreciate
think
that.
that's really, really important. I think what you're doing is amazing. So, is there anything you want to add to it? Sponsorship? Is there a page how they can find it?
Yeah, I mean, Ice Warrior, you type in Ice Warrior.
I will put it in the notes as well.
Yeah,
the
you type
podcast.
in Ice Warrior, you'll find Ice Warrior, the training company. You type in Last Pole, so www.lastpole.com.co.uk. You'll find all about the expedition. You'll find me personally, Curtis Knapton. You'll find me personally. I put a lot of stuff in my personal. I've got Curtis Walks on Thin Ice, which is my Facebook page dedicated to Ice Warrior, so you'll see a lot of my training. Email me, Curtis at ice-warrior.com.
Is there a certain amount of money you still need to raise?
Yeah. So £20,000 is the amount I need to raise. I'm about halfway through that.
Okay.
So you find me.
I'll put in those, find it, type it, and it'll come up, and then people can donate and put some money towards it.
I'm everywhere on social media.
Yes,
so
mate.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
You'll find me.
What? Yeah. So, and how far are you into your training? So obviously you're in a training plan at the moment, or are you sort of well in, or you?
I'm 4 years into the Ice Warrior training, but the way I do physical training, is that what you mean? Physical training?
Yes. Yeah. Training for it.
So, for me to keep mentally engaged with it, I do. So Ice Warrior, say, is a year in advance. A lot of people may get to 7 months and then start training for it to the last bit, where I want to be training the whole way through. So the way I do that, I do lots of like OCR races, triathlons, things like that, little races. They're big on their own, trust me. They're big on their own.
Yeah,
but they're like lots of little goals, with the end goal being Ice Warrior. So I'm always training for a race of some sort, always training for like next week, next month, whatever, and then I get to that race and train for the next one. So with the insight at the end of it, I'll be physically fit to do the expedition.
Yeah.
So
how long will you be away for on the expedition?
Like I said, the expedition is 80 days. At the moment, I'm doing 20.
20, yeah.
But if I can raise more sponsorship, then I'll do more.
Do longer.
I'll do the whole lot. If I had the opportunity, I'll do the whole lot. Really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, I'll leave it in the notes. People can find you that way.
Awesome.
Just from my perspective, Curtis, thanks so much for coming on today, mate. I
Thanks for the
was
opportunity.
really excited to chat to you, because I just find you so fascinating, mate. Your journey and
Thanks.
and your motivation and your sort of your drive is very inspiring and infectious, mate. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bud.